Ahoy and welcome back once again to the channel. I'm pretty excited for today's video because I'm featuring on the channel a Citizen watch that I shared with you in a sort of new releases video a little while ago. This one caught my eye when I was on the Sakura Watches website a few weeks ago. It's a new release by Citizen. This is a JDM watch. What does that mean? Well, it means Citizen made this watch primarily for the Japanese domestic market. They didn't really mean for it to be sold outside of Japan. What else does that mean? Well, it means it's going to be a pretty good watch because they seem to offer the best watches to the Japanese domestic market. I'm not saying we get sent rubbish, but there are some absolute pearlers available in Japan only, and I'm not necessarily saying this is one of those, but it's a very nice looking watch. Incredible specifications and features. To buy this watch in the UK and import it, it's going to be a total of around £300, and I think you'll struggle to find a better Citizen in the high streets in the UK for £300. Now, Sakura Watches have sent me this watch to share with you, so I'll put a link to their website in my video description. It's not an affiliate link. You will have seen the includes paid promotion icon at the start of the video. If you want to know what that means, head down to my video description. Now, sadly, this black dial version, I think, has sold out. They don't tend to get their hands on too many of each model. I think there's a couple of other color versions available, so this watch is still available on the Sakura Watches website, just not with this black dial. Now, I personally love JDM watches, not only because they tend to represent better value for money, they tend to be better made, but I also like them because, well, not too many people in the UK, for example, will have hold of this watch. I could be one of just a handful of people in the UK to be wearing this watch. And I will admit, I'm a bit of an exclusivity tart. If something's a bit rare, unusual, I'm drawn towards it, and that's why I'm drawn towards JDM watches. Yes, they're a little bit more hassle to buy because you've got to shop on websites like Sakura Watches, you've got to pay import taxes to the UK when they arrive in your country, but I personally think it's worth it because you end up with, well, better watches. Now, let me run through the features and the specifications because for £300, I think they're good. The retail price of this watch in Japan is 66,000 yen. Sakura Watch is currently selling it for 48,180 yen. It is a solar quartz and eco drive housing the H145 module. That's a pretty function-packed module. I've seen other watches with this module and yeah, I like it. The case is made of titanium. It has a Duratect coating on it, so it's going to have a little bit of extra resistance when it comes to scratching. Sapphire crystal, it does have sapphire crystal. The AR coating, not the best, but it does have some. 100 meters of water resistance. The case back can't be removed. Well, it shouldn't be removed by you or I. It's one of those watches that has to be serviced by Citizen, which is a bit of a pain, but it's an eco drive. It doesn't have a battery in it. You should probably never really even need to send it to them. The crown is a pull-push crown. It is, of course, a radio-controlled watch. What does that mean? Well, it means it reaches out to towers every now and then to make sure the time is correct. If it isn't, it updates it. That includes the date. It's got a perpetual calendar through to the year 2100. It's got a power indicator so you can find out whether or not it's low on power. It has a world time function, a date function, overcharge prevention, a power saving mode, and daylight savings time function, and it also has something called Perfex. That's something that Citizen has, well, sort of invented. What does Perfex mean? Well, if a Citizen watch has Perfex, it has JIS level 1 anti-magnetism, impact detection, and hand correction. So if your watch takes a substantial knock, it will stop the time telling function and essentially have a moment to just decide whether or not everything's okay. Have the hands been moved? Do I need to correct the hand position? And then after a little while it will make sure everything's fine, start working again, and make sure the hands are in the correct position. Well, pretty cool. So far so good then. The specifications looking pretty good, packed full of features. Certainly at this price point, these sort of features you'd expect to see on Casio Oceanus watches and Citizen Atessa watches, which are more premium watches than this fairly standard eco drive watch. But there are a few weaknesses. The clasp, not fantastic. fantastic. It's a pressed clasp, the outer shell, no polished facets on it or anything like that. 2 micro adjustments. The bracelet's not too bad, a mix of finishing, pin and collar, solid end links, solid links. It's titanium, it's light, you barely know it's on your wrist, and with it being a quartz, it's not very thick, so it's not top heavy. It's a super comfortable watch. Some of the other weaknesses, well, there's no lume on it. I thought there'd be lume on it. There's a white stripe on the hands. I went to film a lume shot and turned the lights off and nothing. So yeah, no lume on this watch. Why? I don't know. Why not just put a bit of lume on it? Bit disappointed by that. And if you saw my comparison video recently, the finishing on this watch in places is impressive, but in some places it's not great. The polishing on the case, a little bit rough, and the seconds hand, not fantastically smooth or bright. But generally, day to day, you're not going to notice these things. It's going to be on your wrist, and there is some light play from this watch. You've got beautiful applied indices. They look super crisp under macro. The hand alignment, of course, it's a Japanese citizen watch. Of course the hands line up, they hit the markers. The bezel's polished, and actually it's nicely polished. It's better than the case. Yeah, there is a little bit of light play from this watch, isn't there? Because of those polished surfaces scattered around on the bracelet, on the case, on the dial. Yeah, I think that's it for the negatives, really. Not too many major negatives, and I really don't mind the pressed clasp on this particular watch, just because it's a citizen. You're getting a high street brand watch, a Japanese domestic market watch. Of course there's going to be some sacrifices here and there, and there aren't too many. I mentioned it already. The AR coating's not the strongest, but you do get sapphire crystal, and when it's on your wrist you forget about those negatives, and I do think it's a good looking watch. It's why I reached out to Sakura Watches to say, any chance you want to send me this watch to review, because I like it. I like the dial design. Yes, you can see the outline of the solar cell through the dial a little bit, but yeah, you get used to that. You don't really notice it, to be honest. I like the case shape. It's a little bit Saab, isn't it? It's a sort of sporty, well, it's a bit of a GADA watch, to be honest. And I just don't think if I took £300 anywhere else in the UK to buy a citizen watch, I don't think I'd find one better than this. And like I've said already, I'm a bit of an exclusivity tart, so yeah, when I wear this watch, I'll know that, well, almost nobody else in the UK has one. Right guys, let me know what you think of the video in the comments section, and as always, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, have a good week and weekend.